Good morning, Thursday. Hey, going through the Northeast states. Last day before tomorrow's quiz on the Northeast state names and state capitals. Here's the states we're going through. All these 11 states up here, including Maryland and Delaware, the 6 states from last week and the 5 we're adding this week. Here's what we're doing. Here's what we're doing with climate. What that means, weather. I know this is a picture of snow, but no, they don't have snow all year long. But in winter, they do. Cold and chilly. Remember last week I talked about those big storms called nor'easters, and there's a picture of the car on the side of the road in snow. They get some big winter storms that can drop a lot of snow. But the reason I put this picture up is because we're not used to seeing snow, especially snow that can be a foot deep, right? So they have it here. Cold, chilly winters. You got to put the heat on all day. Much like in our summers, we got to have the air conditioner running or the swamp cooler running the whole day. There in winter, they got to have it run the whole day because literally, this picture shows it's below freezing, right? Snow will melt if it's over 32 degrees. Underneath 32, snow's going to stay there and pile up. But it's warm in summer. They got both ends of the spectrum. Cold in winter, warm in summer, and it's also quite wet, which means it's humid. Humidity is the moisture in the air, right? There's water all around us all the time in air. We're used to very low humidity, but there's still water in the air around us, which is why on a hot, August day, if you have a nice can of Coca-Cola and it's cold and you put it outside and you set it on the ground, it's going to start getting beads of water on it, right? Well, that's the wet air hitting your hot, wet air, hitting your cold can, and it turns into water. They're called condensation. But at any rate, what I'm trying to say is there's water in the air, and when there's a lot of water in the air, I'm not talking rain, I'm just talking normal air, that's when it gets really hot and sticky and sweaty. There's a lot of that humidity there. But anyway, the vegetation, they have a lot of woods. Both needle leaf or like evergreens, pine trees, and broadleaf trees, which means deciduous, which simply means their leaves fall off in the winter and there's just a bare tree. A lot of the mountains have both types of trees in there, but the deciduous trees, the trees that have their leaves fall off, those are the ones that change colors, right? It's a tree literally preparing itself for winter, and it changes colors to the yellows and reds and oranges, and it really is beautiful. And this is really what they have all over the place, are these big, tall woodlands with both pine trees, evergreen trees, and deciduous trees. Here's the different forests. Here's what we talked about. They have a lot of ferns and bushes and a lot of different trees like this. Basically woods, and they have a lot of it. I'm talking like if you go to Porcupines and there's a bunch of the trees all over. That's more like what this is. But they also have a lot of the bushes and grasses because they do get a lot of rain there. They do have big cities. You might say, wait a second, they have the oceans, and it's actually Lake Erie, and the Appalachian Mountains, but they have huge, giant cities. Whoops. And they have a lot of manufacturing. Okay, a lot of people work in different factories. Here's a car factory and other different factories like that. Most of the people here live in cities, big giant cities and suburbs. But there's tons and tons of factories here. This is the picture. I know this looks kind of odd, but if you can make out New York here, right here's Maryland and Delaware and New Jersey, and here's Long Island. This is kind of a picture I was talking about. Remember this long interstate here that's just full of giant cities? I mean, look at this. This goes from Baltimore, Maryland, all the way to Boston, Massachusetts. It's just jam-packed full of cities. And here, of course, is the biggest one, New York City. Now, you look up above here. Yes, we have these bigger cities, right? Albany and Buffalo and things like that. But for the most part, it's pretty rural here. And along the coast, along the Atlantic Ocean, it is quite urban. Urban is the word I'm looking for. Here's again Lake Erie, part of the Great Lakes, the Atlantic Ocean. And they do have some rivers going all through here and things like that. But coast is what this is known for. Coast simply means the part of the land that's next to the ocean. That's where these biggest cities on this map are. Look at this. All along the coast, well, sorry, with the exception of here, but all these inlets here and the rivers that lead to the coast is where they are. But they also have the Appalachian Mountains. This is a long stretch of mountains. They're kind of more the hilly mountains. But take a look here. This is what's called the Appalachian Trail. And this is that long corridor of the huge cities, and the Appalachian Mountains is kind of to the north of that. But where there's not a lot of big cities because it's all these hilly mountains. Lots and lots and lots of them that go from all the way from Alabama all the way to Maine and even into Canada. A huge chain of mountains that really make this, again, pretty popular with ski resorts and hikers and people that love to be in the woods and on trails and things like that. Here's your assignment. Number one, you got multiple things to do. Please write in the states' names on the lines. Okay? Write in the states. This will help prepare you for tomorrow's test. Then, draw a star where the state's capital city should be and write the city's name next to the star. So find the capital city, use books R8 and R9 way in the back of your community's book. Draw in the star, that signifies the capital city, and then write in the capital city's name. Then write down three interesting facts you learned about these states. Okay? That's your assignment. Tomorrow's a test. Lord's blessings to you as you praise your Savior.